Hey guys, it's Chris Prefontaine with another Deal Structure Sunday. I am with High Six Associate. You may recognize Dave Patton from Michigan. Dave actually started as Dave. Did you start as Immersion, then you moved to High Six? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, at the QLS event. So that's awesome. New High Six member with all kinds of cool things going on. Dave and I did a video of several weeks ago. If you haven't seen it, go search it on the channel, YouTube, with two deals. So he's going to go over kind of I say run-of-the-mill conventional deal with you, with the lease purchase, right, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we're going to give you a very interesting update where we found almost 200,000 extra in one of the deals he talked about in the last video. So let's go with the new one first, Dave. Let's do the source first. What was the source of it?
It was a Sly broadcast for an expired listing.
Sly broadcast. So they called you back, I imagine?
Correct.
Okay. Awesome. Sly broadcast. So those of you who aren't familiar with that, there's a process called the expired dialing process. It's part of the QLS program now. It's also featured partially in the Seller Specials program. So you can get your hands on that if you don't already have it. And then Dave, I don't know if you remember, but when they called you back from the time you went and got the contract, you remember how long that was? Or did it take a whole bunch of follow-up or?
No, he got it right away. He actually had sold the home, and the guy had $100,000 to put down, and he had a pre-approval from the bank, and then the bank backed out of it.
Oh, wow.
So I started talking to him about what we do, and he got it right away. He said, "Oh, you guys deal with non-conforming buyers." He said, "I had one of those, and he fell through."
So that was perfect. It's kind of like you knew you had the guy there, right?
Absolutely.
For the good. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's for great. You're helping them. So, okay. So that's price range.
520,000.
Okay. So it's good for people to hear that because I was on a podcast this morning and a gentleman, I won't tell you where he's from because I'll give it away, but the gentleman said, well, this must just be with lower end. I said, no, this is like 520 in your market's actually pretty high, isn't it?
It depends where you're at. No,
Yeah.
it's about normal.
Okay. So 520. Tell me what he owed.
He owes about 290.
290. So he has a lot of equity there.
Absolutely.
So most would say sellers don't do this. The guy in the podcast said that sounds too good to be true. I said, well, we do 5 or 10 a month, so I don't know what to tell you. Kind of crazy. So 290. So you wrote up a lease purchase where he would get the difference there, or did you go lower?
Right, 230,000.
Okay.
At the end of the 3 years. The spread is nice on this. It's about $800 a month.
So payday 2 is 800 times 36 months is how much?
That is 28.8.
I was going to say like 28 grand. Okay.
Yep.
And then let's see, payday 2, when you calculate the principal pay down on the 290 plus the markup, I'm sorry, payday 3, what does payday 3 look like?
Payday 3 will probably be about 26,200 is what I calculate, maybe a little bit more.
So that counts the mark up in the price, less any deposit on payday 1, and then the principal pay down.
Correct.
Okay, good. And then on a 520 house, what are you thinking up front? What'd you figure?
Probably, I went conservative, 40,000 up front.
That's about 7 to 8. So that's about right. So 40, you said?
Yes, 40.
Okay, so 68, 78, 88, 94 grand or so, almost 6 figures. And we could get 6 figures if a couple things change, right? Who knows?
Correct.
Could get less too if they cashed out earlier.
Correct.
So you never know. All right, so is there any nuances on this when you want to share? This is pretty kind of ham and egg basic deal.
Correct. Pretty vanilla, and the only difference is right up front. This guy didn't take much convincing because he totally got it. Oh, you deal with the non-conforming buyer. Yeah. He said, I had one of them, and he had his house off the market, and then the fall hit, and bank turned him down, and he was kind of stuck, so he was eager.
Yeah, you're like us in that when the fall hits, we like it because people do panic and you get an onslaught of properties. You took how many properties in the last like 45 days?
5.
5 properties. That's pretty cool. And just in case they missed the first video, Dave, you had 0 prior experience and you've been at this. It wasn't just that it wasn't a windfall. You've been at this working hard for several months before these started popping, right? How many months?
Correct. 6 months, I
I
took
was
my
gonna say six,
first
right?
deal.
Yeah, awesome. So right on task. So when I tell people you might get it in 90, but count on 6 months, it's pretty accurate.
Yep,
And you've seen enough of that
absolutely.
now. That's pretty cool. So 90 something grand. Let's talk about, well, first of all, anything else you want to share on that? We good?
No, other than that, it's the standard sandwich.
Yeah, standard just under six figures.
Yeah,
We made it sound
not
simple,
complaining.
but what the heck, when you do the right things, it is simple. Um, Dave, I know on the master, we have a high six private mastermind call tomorrow night, coincidentally, as we're filming this, and probably talk about that lien situation. So let's tell the listeners that the little teaser I put in the title was that we found 195 grand. So in the last video, we talked about 3 paydays on the deal. The street begins with an H. What were the 3 paydays before what we're about to tell them? Do you remember? I don't. I think it was pretty good either way.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, I have too many sheets here.
That's okay. So
I
while you're
figured,
looking for it, let me say this while you're digging up the numbers. So Dave's going to give you the 3 paydays that we already had in this deal because on its own merit, it was a good deal. What happened is in addition to that, and we knew this was a possibility, there was about $195,000 in liens there, both 2 liens with one bank. And our intent was to negotiate them down and try to, get those for like 30 cents on the dollar. Dave did some digging. His attorney did some digging and found out with the statute of limitations that in about just under 5 years from now, those liens go away. So there's no attachment to us in any way anyway, but there was on the house. So those go away, and we just picked up 195 extra thousand. Now, before that, what were the 3 paydays? Did you find the number?
yeah, I went from payday number one, probably be 30,000 on
Okay.
that. We got it for about 361. I think we can sell it for 4. So 30,000 down. I think the spread on this, since it's such a low loan to value, it would be about $1,000 a month.
I remember easy. When we're done, we might eke more out of it depending on how the buyer meeting goes. But 1,000 a
Correct.
month there, and then payday 3 was before the liens.
I had about 13, or pardon me, 33,000.
33. So if we go 5 years, we might push it longer. But if we go 5 years, we got 60 grand in payday 2, and we got another 63 on the payday 1 and 3. So that's 123,000. Now this is going to blow people's mind. I know it, but it's 123,000. Now we add 195 in liens that just went away, right?
Correct.
Am I doing the math right? Yeah. So I know this is going to be hard for them to stomach, but that's a $300,000 deal on a house that's in the 300s because of the term, because of the loan, because of the liens that we got rid of.
Correct. Pretty amazing.
So over $250,000. I must tell you that Zach will correct me, but we didn't sell off our oceanfront yet, but you might have the record so far. And that's interesting to bring up on the mastermind call, not to mention this video here. So Dave, any thoughts for the listener, because the viewer, because they may not even be an associate, but they may not have even done the QLS course yet. So any parting thoughts? I don't care what they are, but I mean, I think this is pretty cool what you just showed them. You got 400 grand in deals there in 2 deals.
Yeah, I'm going to look for liens on homes when we'll declare bankruptcy.
Yeah,
These were 2 home equity loans that the guy had, so
that
they
were
were written
discharged.
off. Yeah, they were written off in his bankruptcy, and then after 15 years, they drop off the property. So you could say, well, he's tied down to the property. Well, not when we come in
Right.
and we make an agreement with him. He can move on. He's going to Florida, and he can retire in Florida, and we can take.
Everybody wins.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
is why what we do is pretty cool. So if someone's watching, they didn't do QLS yet, let alone apply for associate, just basic QLS, what would you tell them? Thoughts?
Hard work pays off. I came in with not much experience. Give it everything you can, and you're going to find success. Training and the help from you, Chris, is amazing. and you can do it in any market.
I love it. I love that you started with hard work, because there's too many mentors out there, as you know, online saying it's easy. You push a button, you got $1 million, you mail these mailings. No, you got to work at it. But when you do, man, I don't know any other payoff that could do that. You put a good solid 6 or 8 months in, and here we are. So great job for you. Congrats.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to seeing you on the mastermind call.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.